Here, and I'm back with another Clash of Clans video today. And if you can kind of hear it in my voice, it's a little bit early today, and the reason is I like to wait until Sunday or something to do my clan capital attacks. So let's actually watch my recent attack here. All right, well, spoiler, I got a 99% there, but so I like to wait till the morning because I know nobody else is online, and it's kind of stressful when you're doing clan capital, and you know that the minute you finish a base, there's a chance that someone else can like hop on and like take the next base you were expecting or whatever. But I was like, hey, right now it's for me it's like 11:30, and I was like, for people back in the U.S. East Coast where I feel like most of the people are from, it's like 5 a.m., 6 a.m. So I was like, most likely I'll be able to do my attacks right away. So I hopped on my second account and did my first attack and finished off the rest of a capital. There was like a Dragon Cliffs that needed to be finished. I had to do in 2 attacks, a barbarian thing camp that had to be done in 2 more attacks, and then I did the capital peak in 3 attacks by myself because nobody else fucked that up. And then I got a new district, which is exactly what I wait to use my main account for. And I saw that there was default Golem Quarry, and if what you're watching right now is default Golem Quarry. And I watched a tutorial on YouTube about this many times. I usually just watch it once for a refresher every time, and I just went in cold. I didn't like do any practice or anything. I don't have this base copied. I probably should because of how many times I've failed. Well, you'll see where I fail, but so I go in, and this is very precise. Every single troop deployment is calculated, kinda. The only thing that I really struggle with is the tutorial I used has this pack of archers, and I never get value with them. I don't think they ever do anything for me. I think they're supposed to be used if you are unsure that you're going to be able to get out this multi-mortar up here. So the minions are cleaning up the back end, and we have a solo barbarian taking out that expo there. And all my skeletons and everything are dead. So there's no backup, no battle ram. So I have 2 of the skeleton barrels, and I used the pack archers, and I was hoping they would go to the mortar. So every single time I learn a little bit more about what I do with this back end here, because I have the whole front end dealt with. It's just like this back end and then this like corner that I struggle with. So I was pretty clean on that expo this time. And now I have this giant swarm of skeletons, and there is a little bomb like right here or something. And usually what I tried to do before is I tried to trigger it, but I kind of learned that you don't have to. So you drop the battle ram right there, and it triggers the log trap. But this, I wanted to test if the little bomb actually ever goes off, and it doesn't even go off. So you don't even have to trigger it. So I use the other ram on that wall here to get some more support barbarians, and I'm going in, and you might think right here that I do have enough firepower, and I definitely do, but time is taken away. So the skeletons wipe through this little guy, and then there's just one little tiny cannon sitting there, and I don't end up getting the one shot on this district. And the next one that I go into is Skeleton Park, and this one I've actually never one shot in my entire life, and I've only attempted the one shot like twice or something. So I watched the tutorial quick, and I just try to memorize the steps. Like, I just watch it through one time, and there's so many steps to these that like you're just gonna forget because it's so like intricate. So the P.E.K.K.A goes in. You want to drop those double graveyards to trigger this giant bomb in the middle here, and then you want the P.E.K.K.A to go in, and right before he gets in range of the multi-cannon, I had this part memorized. You drop 2 rams, a barbarian to trigger the bomb, and then a hog. And then I remember you have to go on this bottom end here and drop a ram. I think it was like 3 or 4 barbarians. Or, yeah, 3, and then I dropped 2. I think you only need to drop 1 there, so I kind of wasted barbarian. And then at this point, I completely forgot what the rest of the tutorial was. So I knew I had to break open that wall with a ram there. But other than this, like, I didn't know what the tutorial was, and I just had a deployment bar with these troops. And I'm just kind of thinking on the fly here. I'm like, what can I do with these troops? So I knew I had another ram. I probably had to get that wall by the spear thrower open there. So I dropped the ram there, get the spear thrower wall open. And there is one other thing that I remember about the tutorial that I forgot to do for a little while in, but you drop a pack of minions up here because there's no air defenses. You can take out a lot up there. So that's what I did next, and then I dropped the skeleton spell up here, which is what you're supposed to do in the tutorial. It's like kind of coming back to me as I'm doing the attack. That's what's going on. Dropped the double hog riders, and I knew the last hog rider you still drop up in this minion hive. So I kind of had a vague idea of what was going on, and then I was like, wait, there's not much more I have to do. So I dropped the hogs on the minion hive up there, and then I was like, now I just kind of sit and hope the P.E.K.K.A can clean up the rest of the base. And I was like, no way I might have actually one-shot this. Before my previous attempts for the one-shot, I might have ended at like 70% here. But right about like a couple seconds ago, I was like looking at it, I was like, whoa, 72% already? I was like, hey, I know like the goal is to get one-shot, but like in the Golem Quarry when I got a 99%, I got a fuck ton of capital gold. I was like, it didn't really matter. Like, I was like, at this point, even if the attack ended right here, I got 6,000 capital gold in one attack. We're only capital hall level 8, so like 6,000 is actually a lot. So, P.E.K.K.A's going in, as long as and then at this point I was like, alright, I took out the air bombs, there's one little air Larry, and I was like, as long as the P.E.K.K.A, well, I honestly it didn't matter, I had the little air Larry, and I had plenty of time, so I was like, hey, P.E.K.K.A doesn't even have to take out this bomb tower, but the P.E.K.K.A actually survives, and I actually end up getting, bonus gold here, so 135 bonus, because the P.E.K.K.A's high housing space, and if you don't know, however many housing space you have remaining alive is how many bonus gold you get. So I was like, if the P.E.K.K.A survives, I get significantly more than if it was just a Barbarian. Maybe a Barbarian I only get like 10 or something. And then I was like, I could just wait. Sorry, it's early in the morning, like I said. I could just wait until another district pops up, and then I just try to one-shot the Golem Quarry Skeleton Park again, which I'm pretty good at, and those are literally the only ones that are default, so obviously Balloon Lagoon here isn't default. But then I was looking and I was like, there's like 8,000 plus capital gold available at this Balloon Lagoon, and I was looking at like this bomb tower can't take out the skeletons that are taking out both these rocket artillery, so I was like, realistically in the first shot I'll take out every single splash damage, and I was like, this is going to be an easy two-shot. And I didn't want to wait till the next Golem Quarry either, because you never really know what is going to happen. Like, say I finish out all the attacks with my other account, and then I have to wait for someone else to finish off the rest of the bases or whatever, and then the next set of bases pop up, and there's no default bases, so I can't one-shot any of them. And then say skeleton spells won't work for the next strategies, like there's bomb towers around, like all this stuff, like skeleton spells don't work every time. Like this super simple strategy, which I showed everybody before the raid weekend. I was like, hey, do this strategy, equal rams, equal barbs, skeleton spells, you can two-shot most districts, which we do, and I think we're gonna, I say this every week, but I think we're gonna get a shit ton of raid medals this week, hopefully. Last week we actually got only 1,100, like 90 something. We didn't even get 1,200, which was kind of sad. But I think we'll get 1,200 this time. Hopefully 13, or we've never gotten 14. That would be so cool. But we are getting so strong with clan capital because everybody's just running this attack strategy if they don't know what to do, which is kind of what I did here. I was like, I don't know what to do. I'll just run this attack strategy. Wow, that giant bomb got a lot of skeletons up there. But yeah, then I finish off this district. Like I said, I just wanted to play it safe. Like, I could have risked it and probably got, like, a lot more capital gold for myself if I would have waited for those default bases, but I knew I could take this one out, so I took it out in 2 attacks, got 4,900 plus. You actually do kind of get a little bit, 213 there for the, for my remaining troops. So you do kind of get a significant amount with the barbarians and stuff, even though, like, it's majority skeletons and skeletons don't count towards that calculation. It does kind of work sometimes. So this base is another one that I knew would kind of work pretty well, because if you don't know about Builder's Workshop, this area over here, there is 0 splash damage. If you just drop, there's some traps right up here, like above this like last log there. So if you know where the traps are and stuff, there's no, so there should be a little bomb. I guess there isn't. So this guy kind of moved the traps around a little bit too. But all you have to do is just take out that blast well, and then you can just drop the skeleton barrels, whatever, and they can wipe through this entire section. So, I figured he didn't lace it with traps or whatever because, like, I don't know, I just kind of, like, was guessing, because people usually kind of get lazy and stuff, but I was like, so you see this whole giant swarm of just skeletons, regular barbarians, and super barbarians. They're going to take out this whole chunk. So if you ever recognize this in any base, that it's like this same layout that the default layout is, there's no bombs or anything, so you can really just run through this with just spam troops. The bombs will be right here at this edge of this blast bow, and I think there might be some in here. But if you get to that area, you're chilling. So I knew that the minute I got there, I was chilling, and I would be able to wipe this out with 2 attacks. So that's kind of the threat, is like Balloon Lagoon sometimes doesn't go down in 2 attacks using the spam strategy. Because I said, like, whatever, based off the bomb tower, the wizard tower next to like a mortar or whatever, like it'll clear out if you drop a skeleton spell on top of that there. So when I got through that big chunk, I was like, there's no way that I don't fail this second attack, because it is kind of like up in the air. You don't really know, because a lot of times like you'll finish at like a 96% because there's just a crusher left, or a bomb tower left, or a wizard tower left, that the spam troops just don't have enough power to get through. And another advice I have for this attack strategy, I know it's super simple. Don't judge me for trying to explain a super simple attack strategy, but I think a lot of people, I think me trying to explain a complex attack strategy like that one that I showed that I one-shot will be less benefit than if I thoroughly explain this super basic attack strategy here. So at the end, you always try to save like a barbarian, because you never know. There could always be one crusher, one bomb tower that can wipe out the entire army there, and you're just like, oh, I wish I had one barbarian. So on the last attack, I always save one barbarian, except for there. I kind of knew that there was nothing that could take them out. But let's take a look over at this leaderboard. There's only 19 hours left in raid weekend, and this is raid number 10, it says. So if we look at the attack log, we've gotten through, we did 20, 21, 23, 22, 20. So we haven't done a district in less than 20 attacks, but right here, I did almost 4 bases on one account, which is actually kind of crazy. So this is 2, 4, 5, 6, it'll be a 7th to clean that up. And then if I can do this in 2 attacks, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So the goal is to wipe out this district in 17 attacks, because I don't have my attacks on Franco 3 anymore, but I do still have my attacks. I have 5 of them on Franco 2 and all 6 on Franco Max. So hopefully we can set the lowest record and get it in 17 attacks. I haven't really looked at the defense log at all. 26 attacks is pretty good for defense, because if you do the math, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, plus 6, that's 18. So then they had an extra, I do 6 because these 2 can probably be 3-shot or 4-shot. So that's why I say 6. So that's 18. So they were above 8 attacks above the average. So they had 8 extra attacks scattered across this whole thing. And I guess I never really show off our capital peak or anything, but I guess I made this layout. It's not actually our defense layout, but I think it looks cool, so I keep it up. And I have all the people that I know in real life over in this corner, all the Francos and stuff. And what we are trying to do is rush to Capital Hall level 9. If you don't know, you should always just rush to the next Capital Hall level. And the first thing you should do when you're at a Capital Hall is upgrade all the offensive stuff. So all our offensive stuff is finished, and we only have to get 126 more buildings upgraded before we get to go to Capital Hall level 9. And I think I sent a clan chat before. I don't know if I pinned it. Yeah, guys, in Capital... Wow, that's a lot of likes. It's pretty cool. I kind of like the like button. I thought I wouldn't like it because of, like, if people, like, dislike or something. I guess Aries disliked this one as a joke. But I said, guys, in Capital Hall, we want to get to Capital Hall 9 ASAP, so spend your gold on the cheapest upgrades, because if you upgrade the cheapest upgrades, then the 126 more buildings or traps will go down quick. But there is also another thing. I do want to have the Capital Hall max before we go to Capital Hall level 9, so I did upgrade the log traps, the zap traps, and stuff, but hopefully we have all of these finished too. I know they're super expensive and kind of a waste, because 42,000 super wizard towers, or if you go over to Balloon Lagoon over here, you can upgrade so one upgrade for 42,000, or a mine, a mega mine, 4 log traps, another mega mine, and I feel like a couple of these regular mines will be up to 42,000, which is like 8 upgrades. So it's like equivalent, but like you can get way more value to rush to the Capital Hall, and there's no penalty in rushing to the next Capital Hall level in Clan Capital. All you do is just get more powerful defenses and offenses. But yeah, I think that's it for the video. I want to show off whatever. I think this is the highest score we've ever had in Clan Capital in my clan so far. I know I already know people in the comments will be like, "Hey, I've already gotten 47,000." I'm like, "Cool! Like, if you have a higher capital, you can get higher capital gold. It's as simple as that." But if you're obviously capital hall level 2, like the highest you can get is like 12,000. Like, it's gonna work like that. So this is pretty cool. And if you're good at clan capital, like, feel free to join the clan. I think I've won every single week for like ever. Sometimes someone will squeak me out by like 1,000, but there's no way I lose this. There's not much time left, and I'm pretty happy with how many people have done their attacks. So we already have 31 6 attacks already, and we're hopefully our clan is pretty full with pretty active people at this point. Hopefully we get to 50. That would be pretty cool. I don't know if it's going to happen, but hopefully we get like 45. That would be kind of the goal. 45 people do all 6 attacks. But yeah, I think that's it for the video. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.